Holy lag Batman. We didn't even get the smooth hold on. Let me do this again. Smoothness with it. There we go. What's up, chat? Here. Happy Thursday. January 13th, 2022. I'm Gun. Twitter.com/Gundacker. Joined today by Curious George's cohort. You're Raj in the building.
Yo.
What up?
We are in the building. Got little LeBron James with me. Lucky LeBron James with me.
Hold on. Okay, close up on that one, because that does not look that's not doesn't
That's
even
LeBron
look
James. It's like one of those, what do you call it? Oh, it's these pop. It's like they make the head big. See the pop?
Yeah, I mean, I know what a pop is, but that looks nothing like that. That's
hey man,
that's not
Go James.
That's it.
Go James.
You can't just like.
My buddy just sent it to me.
You can't just write LeBron James on something. Oh, it's like
you got the licensing.
This can it actually looks like LeBron James to me, so it's my LeBron James. Bang. What else I got? Oh, I got the LeBron James PS5 controller here. Like that looks nothing like LeBron James.
Hey, they got the licensing, so it's LeBron James, baby.
If you say so. Yeah. What's up, chat? We may not have streamed yesterday. Not my fault, but it was my fault. It was the universe did not want it to happen. I'll just say that. What's up, chat? Mia Moore in chat. Justin Brooks. Those were way before we went live. Holy. Jay Smooth. Josh Jennings. Kegs. Scammer. Cam Reddish to the Knicks was the best trade I've seen for them in years. It seems like not a big deal. Like I think
Cam Reddish has some good upside. You give him
but he's
shot. I think
I'm pretty sure like he wasn't gonna be on the Hawks next year. So but like Twitter's like, oh, the Hawks got fleeced, blah blah. It's like, no, what? Nothing was gonna happen.
I think Fournier might move to the bench now,
maybe.
which I think is great.
I don't know, little RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, Duke reunion. Get some Zion in the mix. I don't know. What up, Skimmer? Tizzle Main, Sir Spencer, Encore, Victor Padilla, Mr. OG Crypto. Time to lock in some Harden, Edwards, and Sharp with some Portland value. Let's go. Yeah, that Nets news was crazy. You know what's funny is that, like, I got up early today. Did my spreadsheet, all that stuff. Try to prepare some early projections. And I was like, let me go to the couch for some lunch and some I don't know, some TV. As soon as I get to the couch, the Nets like rule out everyone. I was like, well,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
I mean, the Harden fade in the torture chamber is intriguing.
Stop. No one has not
I'm
gone
telling
off
you.
on the Thunder. Like, I know it's fun.
The Harden
Yeah,
trade.
stop. There's
fade.
not. Stop. That's stupid. That's literally the dumbest thing ever. It's James Harden, right? He's made mincemeat out of upper elite defenders, and Lou Dort really ain't that guy, pal. I know he's got this cute nickname. I know we like to say he's a good defender, but the Thunder are one of the worst defenses on all of basketball. It's James freaking Harden, right? He's gonna do his thing. His use is gonna be sky high. He's gonna play 40 minutes. So, yeah. Now, if you want to fade him because Giannis is in a good spot, because Jokic is in a spot, like, I get all that, but don't miss me with that. He got a good defender on him bull crap, because we've been dealing with that for 7 years now. Oh yeah. What up, Nate D? Says Knicks stink regardless, but Cam does have upside. Knicks fans were happy when they signed Fournier. He sucks. Dort 69 steals tonight, maybe. I mean, sure, Knicks, whatever. I think I don't think it was that big of a deal. Like, it really wasn't. And if Reddish is going to be a starter for them, cool. If Kevin Knox gets used by the Hawks, cool. Like, I don't really think it's that big of a change. The Hawks had a billion wings and guards anyway. Reddish just became a name that, like, NBA, like, DFS players use lately because of all their injuries. But when they were healthy, Hunter, Herter, guys like that, like, it wasn't really like Cam Reddish was being used, especially the way he wanted to be used, and everyone thinks and agrees he has upside. So I don't know that he gets used much better immediately in New York, but there's a lot of pipe dreams on Twitter right now hoping for Zion to complete the Duke reunion, but we'll see how that goes. Did you play last night? I did play last night, Chad, by the way. I know we didn't do a stream yesterday.
I did play last night. It didn't go so well.
So I had mixed reactions. So DeJounte Murray on the stream that didn't happen, we still had a thumbnail. DeJounte Murray was on the thumbnail. I was like, oh my god, this is the dream spot.
He's in my one lineup I cashed.
DeJounte wanted me to be great. He was my highest owned guard. Wasn't my highest owned player. I played a lot of the value plays, but DeJounte was my favorite stud. And there was even a time into the slate where, right, like after lock, we got Day'Ron Sharpe opened up, Eric Pascal opened up, and I was like, okay, maybe I can switch Okongwu over here, and I was like, I can go DeJounte to Luka, but I was like, I don't want to do that. I want DeJounte today. And I was like, he could drop 70. He literally dropped 70. Was your best play on the slate by almost 10 fantasy points on DraftKings. So I'm pretty happy I stuck with my guns there. But other than that, it was a pretty. I think the one piece that kept me from greatness, at least on DraftKings, is I had more LaMelo than Cole Anthony, and at halftime it sounded good.
That looked great. Yeah, Cole Anthony unders were hitting, and then he just went all fake in the second half. I had a pretty good lineup with DeJounte Murray, Tyler Hero, Malik Monk came through, and I think Schroeder, and I put Jared Allen in there thinking, he can get 20 rebounds on a depleted Utah team.
Oh my god!
And that didn't work out with him, so he kind of killed the dream with that one, but that was close.
Yeah, when the Jazz rolled out all of their centers,
right?
Really, like, just from the get-go, I was like, man, the Jazz are kind of short anyway, like, without Gobert, then Whiteside, and even if Azubike or Norvell Pell, even if Pell played, I was like, they really, they're kind of short here. I was like, the Cavs are often disrespected still, as good as they've been. The Cavs were plus 5.5 all day. Like, even after everyone, I was like, man. And then you start second guessing. Everyone has this Vegas knows, right? Vegas knows, bro. And I was like, What do they know that I don't? That the Cavs are plus 5.5, and it turns out nothing. Like the Cavs were the obvious. But if you tell me that the Cavs, smoke them, I'm like, all right, Jared Allen must have had 1,000,000 rebounds, unlimited rebounds, and so I actually took his over 11 prop. Didn't get it. Didn't get it,
Yep. A lot of pain.
But what are you gonna do? But no, shout out to Cavs actually put him away pretty handily. Darius Garland, 52 DraftKings points, got himself a triple double with 15 assists. That's what you want. Looking at the other top scores here, no crazy names here. Kyle Kuzma does it again, dang near triple doubles his own self. Only assist away from that. RJ Barrett, Julius Randle have dueling 40 plus fantasy bombs. I guess maybe Eric Gordon got a surprising game. 31 real points out of Eric Gordon.
Yeah, I played Kevin Porter Jr. If that went to him, would have been better.
That would have been maybe Joel Embiid. Didn't expect 42 out of him. On top of 31 real points. I think he's got 5 games in a row now, Raj, of exactly 31 real points, which is kind of like Chris Davis batting average levels of coolness for us stat nerds. Any other surprises in the top here? Nothing really standing out here. Harrison Barnes, 38. Chimezie Metu, I guess, is interesting. 22 minutes at 14.7 boards, 4 assists, 4 stocks. Lamar Stevens, 37 DKP. Nothing too staggering in terms of names that you wouldn't expect. The value was the value. The Robin Lopez guys like that got there for us. My girlfriend says says Raj, I love the yellow hoodie.
Hey, appreciate, have to bring out the yellow hoodie today. Feeling good about some of the plays.
All I'm saying is I got some software on this computer. 10 minutes, I'll have you looking like a minion. You know what I'm saying? Looking like a minion. We're getting advice from a talking Twinkie tonight.
I look like this Go James?
No, it does not look like LeBron James, man. I can't tell you how not like LeBron James that actually looks like.
Man, he got the beard going. That's about it.
Maybe. Who else in chat I'm missing? What up, TJ Zwark? Shout out to TJ. TJ came on the show once with the little choppy internet after making $250,000, and he got picked up by Roto Grinders. So if you guys have Roto Grinders in the mix, check out some shows with TJ on it. My man's out there printing money. What up, Alan? Stars and Scrubs Day? Yeah, it has to be. What up, Kevin O? Here, William Lewis. Fish fan in the chat, Lorenza. Andrew Martinez says, how would you rank Nets after Harden? Man, that's going to be a puzzle that we're going to put together. I think Cam Thomas is going to profile well, and then it really comes down to who we expect to truly start. Day'Ron Sharpe, I guess, would have to be up there
Bruce
as well.
Brown?
Yeah, Bruce Brown's always in play for me if he starts, and we can expect 35-plus minutes from him. But DeAndre Bembry, like, you might just get to them all. Maybe we'll take some time to look at the last. There was a set of games where they were all out as well. And there was even a set where Harden was out and Patty Mills was in. Maybe we'll look at some of those rotations. But
don't forget the Portland team. Like, everyone's out for them, too. They lost Simmons today. No McCollum, no Lillard, no Powell.
I don't think we're forgetting them. Like, no one's forgetting them.
I can see a lot of people wanting to play the Brooklyn guys and maybe forgetting some of the Portland guys.
Yeah. Kevin O says, Gun, when you're in Tampa, let me know. I have Rays tickets. Ooh, I don't necessarily love the Rays, but maybe if I catch a Rays Yankees game or something, we can.
Guys, Gun does not leave his house. He does not leave his house.
I definitely don't just like roll up to Tampa, but I have in my younger years. I used to chill in Tampa. I remember last time I was in Tampa, I was a kid and I was bowling. I must have been 12, 13, and at the time Nelly was real big. And I had like I used to wear the Nelly Band-Aid, where you don't have the cut and
yep. You got the triple XL white tee with the white forces.
Let's go home. TJ with the dono. What up, TJ? I missed the message. Hold on, she's gonna read it for me.
Used my winnings to fix my internet and buy a new house. We're gonna have to link back up.
Yeah, we are. If RG lets you do that, like, you can just come on. I don't know what your deal is, but yeah, sure, jump on anytime. Yeah, no, the Nelly Band-Aid. Appreciate that dono, by the way, TJ. That's awesome. Got himself a new house. Let's go. That's the dream,
Down
man.
payment on
Start
the house, yeah.
winning house money up here.
I mean, if you win a down payment on the house, yeah, that's the goal. The 100K scores, the 250K, maybe.
Dude, down here, 250K might just straight up get you a house. Like,
that's a down payment on the house. That's a full down payment here.
Up there, Jesus H.
Yeah.
No, life is still pretty affordable down here if you play your cards right. OG says Harden has good chemistry with Edwards and Sharp. Going to get us regardless. Cam Thomas, Bembry, Bruce Brown got to wait and start lineup. Yeah, I think it really comes down to the starting lineup for the Nets and start to projecting who's the better play and start tiering it. But without Patty Mills, that's an elite score that they were leaning on. So I think Cam Thomas could be that guy. We'll go with it. What up, Brody? Main slate stunk last night. Was good, even with the -1 from DJJ. Yo, what up, Lavaris? Appreciate that follow. To see how Kuzma missed his triple-double at the end of the game. Yeah, that sucked. Yo, at what point does Kuzma become not waiting for progression, and this is the new Kuzma on a team not...
Lakers fans are just pain. All they feel is pain seeing this. He's better than Westbrook. He's better than Russell Westbrook at basketball.
Listen here, buddy.
Russell Westbrook is terrible. We have been
and your busted
fraud. Russell Westbrook's been a fraud, man. All those numbers look pretty, but put him in a real situation, try to win some basketball games.
I've now signed with the John Morant fan club.
Oh yeah, first he jumps from Odell Beckham, leaves him. Now we leaving.
Hold on, ain't nobody leave no Odell Beckham. What are you talking about? Odell. I've been a lifelong Rams fan for at least half a season now. So
there you go. See, John's a flyer. He don't leave his house, but he flies to different teams.
What do you mean? I was, fam. That's loyalty.
The only thing you're loyal to is the Yankees. I'll give you that. Maybe you.
Hold on. I was loyal to the like. So let me say that if the Yankees if tomorrow the Yankees fired Brian Cashman and brought in some nobody from nowhere.
What, you're not gonna roll with him?
Hold on. Not just that. Listen, Gettleman came in, bro, and traded away Odell, traded away one of the better defenses that team has had in a long time. He just blew it up. He just completely blew it up. And since then, the Giants have sucked. Now, it's easy to look back at now and be like, oh, these were bad moves. But in the moment, you knew they were horrendous decisions, bro. And that's where I was. I was like, man, this guy's blowing up my team. And I just couldn't support that.
You gotta roll with it.
No, you don't. I don't know why people think you have to do that.
It's harder. Nah, you stay loyal.
No, you don't. You do not have to do that. You don't. This is not a... It's not. No. You don't.
All teams go through bad. All teams go through it.
All right. If you're loyal to the team, I guarantee you, if the CEO of Coke tonight goes on a racist rampage on Twitter, you're not loyal to the brand tomorrow. Okay, so don't hit me with that bull.
I'm drinking my Diet Coke, but I ain't gonna be like what he said. Right? I'm still drinking the Diet Coke.
Stop. Literally stop what you're doing. Chat. Stop what you're doing. And check out RunDFS.com. I mean, I am, but they haven't done anything for me to be disloyal. They're
he's loyal to Danielle too, which is nice. Good guy, gun.
Good little segue. Yeah. I am loyal to my girlfriend. Yes. Yes.
Gun doesn't leave the house to not be loyal.
God, what are we doing here? RunDFS.com, folks. Check it out. And get the sub, get the membership, get yourself signed up, get into the Discord, man. Discord's where it's at. We do have the All-Star Break to All-Star Break package up early. There's only a couple more left of that. It was limited to 10. After the first 2 days, there's already got half of them gone. So go check out that to get into that and get locked into coverage for the rest of the NBA season, the rest of the NFL playoffs, all of the baseball season. It is going to happen. This is all going to happen. we gotta manifest it. And then of course NASCAR's in a couple weeks. My boy Luke is out here crushing it with the golf content, and we've added him to the team, added him to the Discord. He's been so accessible in the golf channel, so if you guys are looking to I don't know, segue into golf, transition into golf. Created that golf channel. He's in there answering questions, and then of course he's been pumping out free content on YouTube as well. If I've tweeted it. If you are this channel today, he put up a video on this channel for Jock Market. So if you guys want to check out that, and then check out the link to his channel in the description. He's part of the community now, so there's a lot of sharps in that Discord. And I say, even though I'm giving professional coverage for NBA, NFL, and baseball, man, we got guys in there that work together to create MMA, golf, NASCAR is going to be definitely a point of interest the next couple weeks, as the Daytona 500 is upon us with the Millie Maker launch. So lots of DFS out there, and it's a boom period for DFS sports betting in general. Raj, this is what we waited for. If you were in this industry 3-4 years ago, where some states, my state included Texas, was like, nope, you can't play FanDuel, and then states were like, this is just illegal betting. And then now that states have really opened up DFS and now opening up sports betting, and now more and more sports are becoming accessible for this, it's becoming just an incredible time, and really a boom period for the industry. So
did you see that? Yeah, did you see that 50-cent parlay?
Yeah, FanDuel tweeted it, and apparently 3 people ran it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they all. I thought they all just kind of did it together or whatever. Maybe 3 people ran it. But yeah, 50 cents to 130K. That's
incredible. Like that.
I mean, that's more impressive than Big in the Millie, right? I mean, what's more likely, Big in the Millie or Big in that parlay?
I don't know probabilities when it comes to that, but I think
guess it's a parlay. 50 cents to 130K is just an insane return.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
What was the 6 first prospects? We got to get on that, chat. We got to talk about some first basket plays. Missed to know here.
Yeah, there's only 5 or 6 games tonight. Not a lot of games, so I like this. We'll be laid back a little bit more. Anybody else straggling? What up, Crispy? Katie won me $50 on DraftKings. $1 bet to hit 1 3-pointer. Nice.
I like it.
Nate says, I need a picture of this Nelly Dacker. I tell you what. That was so long ago that I think there is a picture in existence, but it's not digital. Like that's
better. I'm gonna need that Band-Aid on the face for one of these streams,
bruh. I only think I tried it. I tried it for like a month, bro. It was just like whatever.
I mean, Nelly had.
If you know, you know. Like it made no sense, but
it was the vibe, man.
What up, Gerard Jones? Kispert cost Kuzma that triple-double. That bum. Today's a DFS rule number 1 day. Under no circumstances, never play Tony Snell. Yeah, let's not. What a Bobby Schmurder. Rod's looking like a nose guard today. Clog up that whole big fella. Okay.
Hey,
all right.
You want to do it up?
All right. You get the jump on the center. Get to the quarterback. Meet me at the quarterback.
Take the sack.
What up, Top Biller? Fade the Freak. Oh, Fade Giannis. Okay. Mark K in the chat. Everyone hates Chris. What up, Top Biller? Yeah, NY in the bill. Let's go. Yo, NY is in the building as well for sports betting. So that's great. Anyway, rundfs.com. Let's get caught up on the news. Underdog __ NBA. Shout out to J Fan. Keeping it so simple to follow NBA every day. Klay Thompson expected to play. Steven Adams questionable. Will Barton probable. And then earlier today, we caught wind that Chris Paul COVID testing is uncertain for Friday. And then when it comes to the Nets game, they ruled out everyone. So to put a pin in that, it was LaMarcus Aldridge out, Kevin Durant out, Nick Claxton out, Patty Mills out, which is a lot of production to replace for the Nets there. But it is the Oklahoma City Thunder, so James Harden should be able to do James Harden things. Maybe have one of those vintage James Harden fantasy nights where he goes for 70 to 80. A lot of upside today for DFS when it comes to studs. And then, of course, being that it is a home game for Brooklyn, no Kyrie. Although I saw a report on Twitter that said that the Nets could potentially start playing Kyrie in exchange for some fines. And I don't know for real. And then I saw it topped out at $5K fines. And I was like, I feel like Kyrie was paying more than $5K per game missed. So I don't know So maybe look out for that to develop as we go forward. But yeah, the Nets are kind of the story of the slate right now. A lot of starter minutes and a lot of heavy rotation pieces missing in action for today. But it is a manageable game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And at last glance, they were favorites still. So looking for a lot of ownership on James Harden. I think at last check, he was pushing 40-50% ownership. It's the spot that happens several times a year, and there's often a lot of overthinking, but there will not be no overthinking here, Raj. We are playing James Harden, and this is setting up to be one of the more obvious studs and scrubs slates in a while. But especially today, you mentioned Portland Trailblazers being as short as they are. Now we got the Nets, a couple of other spots to maybe dumpster dive for some value. We're playing studs and scrubs, so we're going to spend an hour or two trying to find the best studs and the best scrubs to make some lineups. So without further ado, let's get into it. Golden State Warriors at the Milwaukee Bucks. First game on the docket. Mental note, it is a late lock, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, so you do get an extra 30 minutes around to think about your moves. And then there's only one game at lock. Project starting five for the Warriors: Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Juan Toscano Anderson, and Kevon Looney taking on Grayson Allen, Chris Middleton, Jordan Nwora, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Bobby Portis. Keep an eye on this starting lineup, really for both teams. I guess Golden State has an ability to switch it up. Otto Porter, JTA, Bielisa, guys like that. But the Milwaukee Bucks, I wasn't quite sure what to project for them in terms of Grayson Allen being back with Jordan Nwora there. Would Grayson Allen replace Wesley Matthews? Would Grayson Allen replace Jordan Nwora, and they kind of bump everyone back? This is a small ball Warriors team, so I do think that's possible as well. So there is some flexibility in this lineup projection. Not that Allen and Nwora and Wesley Matthews are going to move the needle all too much for me, but just something to keep an eye on. We do have a 224 total and a potential finals preview, right? How often do you get a matchup like this in the regular season? Unfortunately, no Drew Holiday, no Draymond Green, so you do take out some of the bigger pieces that this show could offer. But a big total and a small spread. Steph Curry likely to get lost in the shuffle here in the slate that gives us James Harden and Giannis and guys like that. But he's at 10.4K on Fanduel, 11.2K on DraftKings. Klay Thompson back, hasn't played a ton of minutes yet. They are still slowly building him up. And then the rest of the lineup has been pretty diverse in terms of Steve Kerr's rotation. We expect Andrew Wiggins to get 30 plus minutes, but past him, there's not a lot of high minutes in terms of comfort. Maybe Otto Porter off the bench is the sixth man, a scoring guy off the bench. I do like him the most for this matchup, but again, the minutes and the price point aren't comfortable when you really start dicing it up. The Bucks side is a little bit more intriguing to me because we can plant a flag on expectations and concentrated usage, starting with Giannis Antetokounmpo. So let's go use the on-off court tool via NBA Wowie, !AMF in the chat. You guys want to use this tool? They have a free version, which is great. They also have a sponsored version. I use the sponsored version. It gives you a couple extra things to use in your query. So let's pull up Milwaukee here. And we're going to take off Drew Holiday, and we're going to put on Giannis and Chris Middleton. I think Bobby Portis, I guess we could add him as well. But let's focus on Giannis, Chris Middleton. F it, let's put Bobby Portis on there for old heck's sake. Excuse my profanity. 113 minutes sample size of these three on the court at the same time. Giannis 38% usage rate, 24% on Middleton, and about 20% on Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis about a point per minute, while Giannis is nearly 1.8 and Chris Middleton 1.4. Long story short, that's the three that I think we focus on the Bucks. And then, like I said, Steph Curry is playable. I think Steph Curry is an incredible tournament thought, but you probably need a lot to go right for Steph Curry to be the guy on either side, with James Harden in existence and then Giannis being there as well. Bobby Portis is still way too cheap. Get me in trouble cheap on FanDuel at 6,200, looking for 30 plus fantasy points. I know that last game he was kind of a letdown, but we got to be pretty short-sighted and goldfish memoried in DFS. 2 for 7 against Charlotte. That's just like an incredible I don't say outlier, but that just like almost never happens against Charlotte, especially Curtin calling the same matchup where he dropped 40 plus fantasy points, a lot of foul trouble there. So I'm going to be going right back to the Bobby Port as well. And at 6,200, I think I just have to continue to be aggressive because there's too much upside at that price point. But Giannis and Middleton are two guys I can get behind a lot. And Middleton also had a spike game in that Charlotte game. Maybe there's a Middleton or Portis in terms of ceiling while Giannis exists correlation to be had. I don't know. Back-to-back 50-plus games against Charlotte. I think we have to appreciate that Charlotte is one of the worst defenses in all of basketball, and it creates a lot of upside for opposing teams. And in that first Charlotte game, I think Giannis had a little bit of hack happiness in the first half. But where are you ending up from this early game? And I guess the early question is Giannis your stud of the day in context to the slate that also gives us James Harden, or are you going to be trying to get as much of both as you can? Chat chime in as well. What do you do with Giannis here?
It's going to be just a fade the entire game for me in this spot here, in this 5-game slate, making a 4-game slate.
What?
I think Golden State has played elite defensively all year. Even with Draymond out, they've done well. In this game, it's going to be a low-scoring game. I know, obviously, Giannis is, defense-proof, matchup-proof. But with the other studs today, like Jokic, Harden, in the Minnesota-Memphis game, high-scoring game, I like the 8K pieces there. It's just, there's just no way I'm getting to him. In 20 lineups, I can fade this game, and I'm completely okay with that. Again, Curry at 11-2, just don't see myself getting there. Especially if Jrue Holiday's back, just a little tougher for him there, too.
He's not back. What are you talking about? Okay, you're not fading this game, Raj. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
None of these guys are really in that great of a spot. So stop acting like you're going to pay like 50% of them too. You're not.
Giannis is you're not going to get to Giannis on the slate that's giving you free. What?
No,
bro. You're literally the levels of trip. No, you're insane, bro.
All right, make a bet then. Let's make a bet then.
What's the bet?
What we doing?
Well, I mean, I'm on Harden too, but the point is,
okay, not Harden. Okay, I'll take Jokic over Giannis.
Yes, easy. Lock that in. How much?
Okay, lock that in. Oh wait, hold on. The blowout concern in Denver.
No, Mister. I'm not.
The blowout concern in Denver. That's a little more troublesome. I'm still not getting to Giannis today. Tough matchup too. Golden State's been elite defensively, especially with their.
No. They've been elite with Draymond Green on the court defensively.
Even without Draymond Green,
no. Yep. I'm telling you, Draymond, his defensive net rating value is like the largest in all of basketball. Like it's.
I'm not playing. I'm fading Giannis today.
Also, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like what?
Yeah, I'm fading Giannis today,
bro. I mean, I get okay. You could fade Giannis, but you're not finna. No.
I fade this game too. I mean, I'm probably not getting to any Middleton today at that 8-7 price tag. I mean, I probably tell you the truth. I probably like D'Angelo Russell over Middleton today.
You want to take that one?
I'll play him in fantasy, but I mean,
stop! No! Give me something here. Nah, we acting on this.
We're gonna get to some. We gonna get to some.
You want Middleton versus D'Angelo Russell?
No, just one where I'm leaning towards D'Angelo Russell.
How about D. Russ and Jokic versus Middleton and Giannis?
No.
Put your money where your mouth is, bro. You talking nonsense.
I don't mind that. Hold up. I don't mind that.
Give it to me then. I'll lock it in right now.
Give me J-Val versus Middleton. Same price.
Give me some Giannis action with that. Yeah, you're not.
I see that. I would.
You're trying to get a center versus a guard forward. Like I'm trying to get same positions going at each other. Don't give me no center versus guard.
No, hold on. No, now you're being a scared little bitch. J-Val versus Middleton, same price tag. Put in the Utah spot on DK.
That's not thing. No. So you're a dog. Dog.
I mean, yeah,
dog. All right. You know what? Yeah, I get it. You're not putting your money where your mouth is. I get it. Right now, according to my projections, Raj, Giannis Antetokounmpo has the highest projected score on the entire slate at about 60 fantasy points. So edging.
But you like Harden. Okay, I mean,
I like Harden as no.
Okay.
But you're missing. You don't understand the assignment. You're missing the point. Tonight,
you overvalue
there's
Giannis,
enough.
too.
No, I think you're undervaluing Giannis. You're overrating Warriors' road defense without Draymond, and you're also
You're underrating the Warriors defense. They've been elite all season with or without Draymond.
No, not without Draymond. That's completely false.
Draymond.
What do you mean?
Come on, Looney going to show Giannis the work. Kuminga going to show Giannis. Kuminga playing?
No, he's not. Last 10 games. Rod just tweet, yo, you lost the chat. You have lost the chat.
Chat. I don't chat ain't on Giannis too.
You have lost. You literally. So defensive. The last 10 games of Warriors basketball without Draymond Green, defensive rating of 117.2. Guess what? That's not good. With Draymond, that 117.2 in those 10 games goes to 105.4. The Warriors defense is heavily contingent.
Like 10 games, you got to see who they were playing. There's a lot more factors that contribute to that.
No one that they played is better than the Milwaukee Bucks. You're tripping, bro. It's the world champs at home. You don't think they're? Come on, dog. Raj, I think this is the hottest of hottest takes that you've had all year.
Today.
This is what if I take a stream off. This is what I come back to. Complete nonsense.
I'm not getting to Giannis not only because of Harden and maybe some more Jokic, but also because of that Minnesota Memphis game. I like the 8K guys. I like a couple 8K guys on New Orleans. So this pricing, I'm not gonna get to him.
I think that's a process mistake. There's gonna be way too much value. One, just looking ahead at
if Giannis is 30% owned, maybe 40% owned.
The entire Nets team against one of the worst defenses in basketball is under 5K, 4K and less on top of Harden. You don't think you're going to get the 3 Nets in lineups tonight? We mentioned that the entire Blazers team is under 6K with a couple of easy clicks at Ben McLemore, Dennis Smith Jr. 4K. You start getting to those guys, I guarantee you're not leaving 4K on the table for D'Angelo Russell when you can go get
a lot of lineups. A lot of lineups are going to be Harden, Giannis, fill it in with the Brooklyn and Portland guys.
Yes.
I can get different by not playing Giannis, maybe getting in 2 of these 8K guys instead. I'm with it.
So are you telling me you're not playing the value pieces?
No, I'm saying I could fade a Giannis and let's say a Giannis and a Bruce Brown or Cam Thomas, whatever, for 2 8K guys, like a D'Angelo Russell and J-Val. And I think they provide more upside than a value piece in Giannis.
Bro, there's a median projection on J-Val and D'Angelo Russell that could be 40 points apiece. They could combine for 80. Giannis could drop 70, and then you can offset that with a 20-25 from a Kessler Edwards.
Or he could drop like 44.
How often do you think Giannis plays 36 minutes and sticks at 44 against an undersized opponent where it's clearly a statement game? Like I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I'm done. I need action on Giannis though. I'm gonna need I'll take Jokic. You can't have Harden, but I'll take Jokic versus Giannis.
Okay. Now the stipulation. I know. I'm just thinking about the spread on the Portland Denver game and see how long he'll get his minutes.
Can't do it. I can't with this guy. I'm scared to catch
up.
Chat. I'm scared.
I think the chat might be on my side here.
You think so? Maybe. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo, bro. Like I just can't.
I got love for Giannis.
Do you?
I got love for Giannis. It's not today.
Shout out to my boy Josh. Josh, one of the most knowledgeable Warriors fans in existence. He mentioned Otto could rest today, so we have seen them. They have a back-to-back today and tomorrow, where tomorrow they also play. And we have seen Otto Porter and I think Iguodala, not more so Otto Porter, where he'll play one and sit one. Echo. I'm hearing myself in your there we go. So I guess keep an eye on that, but I would hope that Steve Kerr reports that. I feel like this is a more important spot here, but bro, Nurk better go off tonight because I really want to play Triple J if Adams is out. Yeah, Jaren Jackson Jr. definitely looks good if he gets more center opportunity. Play both. Yeah, I'm on as much Giannis and Harden together as I possibly can get. Jovel might go crazy. Yup. On Fanduel, you can very easily play all 3. Yeah, Fanduel is free tonight. It's just wide open. It should be making a lot of fun lineups. So who's going to be guard? Raj is trying his best to educate Gunn. You got, okay, when Sean V and Raj have combined forces, chat, this is like, come on, bro. You're definitely on the wrong side if those two
are. Y'all going to mid-cash tonight. If y'all want to mid-cash, do that. If y'all trying to win 250K, like one of the homies in the chat, you start fading Giannis.
Kaminga should play. All right.
Oh yeah, Kuminga about to give Giannis that defensive work.
Please, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. That's why Raj don't make money in DFS. Let him know, chat. Let him know.
Hey, make money on PrizePicks though.
KJ says, shout out to Raj for paying that rake. It's not the fact that you, like, if you spin it as, okay, he's going to be high owned and I want to fade.
Yeah, sure. There's game 3 play 2.
Sure, but you just sat there and looked me in my eye sockets and was like, I don't really like this game. I'm not going to have none of it. That's horse... That's horse manure, okay? What part of my profanity? Are you telling me that you can get potential? Like, if you didn't think Giannis thrived here, you would have to at least say, okay, maybe Bobby Portis, Chris Middleton pick up some slack here. There's just no way I can see not a range of outcomes where not $1 or $2 becomes a solid play and then borderline optimal play. And for me, Giannis, raw points mean a lot. And the slates that give you more value, the more valuable raw points become. And James Harden, yeah, he could drop 70, but Giannis Antetokounmpo also very likely to get you 60, 70 fantasy points whenever. Bro, we're talking 1.77 points per minute, bro. Like, what? Like, how is that not appealing to you with the ability to get them for free?
That's what, the number 1 defense in the league?
Without their number 1 defender, like I don't know how I have to spell it to you. Without Draymond, their defensive rating plummets. It's not like they lose a little; they lose a lot. It becomes a whole different team defensively, and also it's Giannis, bro. Like, no, stop. I would play Giannis today, even if Draymond was in. Anyway, let's talk some game theory from the other side, since you want to think with a tournament mindset here. What do we like picking on the Bucks with?
Well, I don't really pick on the Bucks in general.
But when you do, it's usually perimeter shooters, right, class?
Klay Thompson and Steph.
Last couple years, Milwaukee has been a good interior defense, but they give up a lot of threes. They run a fast pace. This season, the Charlotte Hornets are the only team allowing more three-pointers per game than the
you really get to a lot of stuff, though. You have Harden who's going to lock up a spot. You have DSJ, who's that 4K value guy. You have Cam Thomas, who's not like.
Hold on, no, stop. First of all, stop. You can't preach the value and to be heavily anti-Giannis. That makes this counter.
You're not going to play a lot of Steph when you're not going to. People aren't going to play a lot of Steph today.
No one. You're not. Listen, Linda. Listen. I'm not getting to the idea of playing a lot of Steph. I'm trying to entertain the game theory behind Steph Curry being a positive tournament player, right? There's not much better matchups for three-point shooters than a guy like Steph Curry. And yes, James Harden does exist, but Steph Curry, coming off a game against Memphis Grizzlies where he just dropped 62 fantasy points, going to have more spacing on the court with Klay Thompson there with him. And also, their offense has to play a little bit more catch-up if their defense is going to take a step backwards. So it does open up more potential pressure on him to shoot more shots, but in a matchup that favors elite, not even elite, just three-point shooting, you get one of the best three-point shooters of all time and a fraction of the ownership of some of these other studs on the slate. I'm just saying there's game theory behind Steph Curry being a potential tournament upside play. Obviously, his floor is not what you want at this price point, but the ceiling is right up there with everyone else. 60-plus fantasy points is very, very much so a range of outcome for him. You are so I don't know, chat. What up, Donovan?
I'm gonna take my 50s from D'Angelo Russell and J-Val at 8K, and you can keep the 50s at 11K from Steph and Giannis.
It's not 50s. It's like you could take 50, you could take 40s and 50s all day long. But on a slate like this, if these guys are dropping 60s, 70s, I don't give a fudge about value. The free square, the 4Ks and belows are just gonna give you a path to the raw fantasy points. So I think you're not understanding the assignment. Is how the kids would say it, right?
I think I'm just a couple years ahead of you. I'm just waiting for you to catch up.
You think so? Okay. Giannis bad record against the Warriors. Rod's got a point.
Talk about it,
man. I don't know, man. So Ben McLemore or Cam Thomas if he starts. I think both those guys are very much so in play. Everyone hates Chris. That's what I'm saying. If you got a bankroll, you could also go Morant, Harden, and Jokic. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff. Like there's plenty of ways to go tonight. I love Morant as well. So I think what's getting lost in this discussion is I'm not saying lock button Giannis. I was just perplexed by the I don't like this game, I won't have any of it blanket statement from Raj, when that just seems so processually incorrect. Like that's not what you want. I just can't see myself having none of this game. And I won't. And I won't. I won't. I think I'm going to just build that big three Giannis, Jokic, Harden mix. Yeah, I think that's a fun lineup, Mark. I also think I like John Morant a lot. We'll talk about him. I don't mind Steph Curry. Steph Curry versus Giannis in the same lineup could be fun. What are you going to do? Donovan says, how do I get into Discord? Discord is behind the paywall at rundfs.com. If and when you get a membership, you go to rundfs.com, click VIP memberships. After you upgrade, there's a tab here called VIP Portal. You click on that. There's going to be links to the spreadsheets, but also a link to the Discord. You click on that Discord banner, and it'll get you an invite in there. And then the Discord's really all you need. There's links to the same spreadsheets in the Discord, and then pre-locked voice chats. All right, we just spent an hour talking nothing. So let's move on while we can. But we'll start thinking of some bets here, because I left $50 on the table, not taking your money the other night with your Van Vliet Siakam nonsense. Clippers at the Pelicans, next game on the docket. Projects 35 for the Clippers. Reggie Jackson, Amir Coffee, like the drink. Marcus Morris, Nick Batum, Ivica Zubac taking on Devante Graham, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, Herbert Jones, and Jonas Valanciunas. A 214.5 total, 4-point spread in favor of the home team, Nolans Pelicans. So interesting spot to maybe gravitate towards some underpriced and maybe some mid-tier guys that get slept on. Reggie Jackson, 55 on FanDuel, 6K on DraftKings. Does have every bit of 6, 7, 8x potential in that price point, considering this matchup. We love point guards against the Pelicans. Marcus Morris in the mix as well. And Ivica Zubac is interesting if you can trust a solid minute projection on him. Projection models continue to like Zubac, and without Hartenstein, without some of their bigs in the mix, there's reasonable suspicion to believe he might get enough minutes, long enough, strong enough to pay off this price tag. I think that's kind of the blurb that you could put on every single player for the Clippers. They're coming off one of the weirder games I've ever seen in the history of basketball. Did you catch any of that? The Clippers and the Nuggets?
I did not.
It was so slow. So slow. And then the Clippers overcame a 20-point deficit. It was so weird. But what we saw
85-87.
Yeah, but it was even worse at halftime, and it was dang near a 20-point blowout on the Nuggets side, and it just I don't know, it was inexplicable. Amir Coffee, 43 minutes of playtime in that last game, played every second of the second half, was one of the members of the comeback, and then Ivica Zubac did not close the fourth quarter, and Nick Batum did not start the second half. They were shaking it up. So something to keep an eye on. But we were still getting 30-plus minutes of Reggie Jackson. And then Serge Ibaka and Eric Bledsoe played just 21 and 25 minutes, with Bledsoe being a guy that they opted to close, going a little bit smaller, sacrificing Zubac, who also had 4 fouls. So I think the Clippers' minute rotation and projection become a little bit hard to predict pre-flop. But I do think we can kind of anchor 30 minutes on Reggie Jackson, at least for the foreseeable future. Amir Coffee and Marcus Morris, those are the 3 that I would probably start with some level of confidence. Terence Mann saw 27 minutes in that game. He has been switching from starting to not starting. Luke Kennard's still out. So a couple of options that you can get to, but I don't have a high level of confidence in any of these guys. But if I'm just purely seeking ceiling ranges of outcomes, guys that could give me a sneaky 40 plus fantasy points, I think Reggie Jackson's there. I think maybe Marcus Morris is there, and I think it's worth doing maybe an on-off court query here to get some actual numbers. Reggie being the guy that's in the spot, point guards against the Pelicans, him being in the spot that DVP is pointing us into makes him the most intriguing to me this season, with him and Marcus Morris on the court, with Paul George off the court. We got 260 plus minutes of sample size. Reggie Jackson has a 28.5% usage rate. The point per minute is not what you want, but at least the usage rate kind of shows us that maybe when stuff starts falling the right way, that could thrive in a spot that breed success. So I might get into some Reggie Jackson, especially at 5,500 on DraftKings. And then on the other side, you're high on J-Val. I don't dislike J-Val. I got him for 40 plus fantasy points, and any day I'll take 40 at 8K or less. No problem. And then Brandon Ingram, Devante Graham. I think Brandon Ingram's kind of shown us an ability to give us 50-plus fantasy point games again. Maybe the floor is not as strong as we want it, but 56, 55 in 2 of his last 3 games. We know his usage is going to be high. We know his minutes are going to be high. So I don't even mind going his way. And yeah, if you want to think about the studs taking a lot of the salary off the top and a lot of the value guys kind of filling in the holes here, yeah, I guess he could qualify as one of those AK players like you mentioned that could perform their salary point, and you would take that 50 plus fantasy points at a potentially discounted rate. I think it's possible here. Josh Hart, almost 7K on both sites. I usually start with 30 fantasy points and work from there when he's out there. There's a lot to like make cases for here, right? You can, like I said, we can draw up a path to success with upside for Reggie Jackson, for Brandon Ingram, for J-Val. But what are you realistically doing with this game? Like realistically, Rods, actionable stuff.
So yeah, I mean, realistically, I mean, like I said, like this game, you mentioned Portland, one of the best teams to attack, DFS wise. Or not Portland, the Pelicans, one of the best teams to attack DFS wise. On the Clippers side, Reggie Jackson at 6K is intriguing. He's definitely not a tier 1, but I think tier 3, tier 2 type of guy. Not a point per minute monster, but in this spot, one of the best spots, point guards against Pelicans, 6K. I think it'd be 35, 40 spot for him. Marcus Morris with no Paul George, no Kawhi Leonard. I could see him having a big game. Coming off of 2 down games in Atlanta and Denver. That Denver game just extremely low scoring. I expect this game to probably reach maybe a 220 total. Wouldn't be shocked with that. So Marcus Morris could be 25, 10 over here. So I like his price tag at 6,500. On the Pelican side, I mentioned J-Val. I think it's a 50 spot for him. I think the spot he could definitely get it done inside against Zubac here. He's averaging 60 against the Clippers in 2 games. So I think it's a great spot for him at 8.6. I think even Brandon Ingram at 8.9, tough to get to today, but I think he could be kind of a sneaky 50 bomb.
I think one of those J-Val games was the game where he just hit a ridiculous amount of threes, like 10 threes.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then maybe Ingram was out. DKP by game log versus Clippers. Hey, yo. One old schools, man. I appreciate that sub. So he's got his last game against the Clippers was 70.8 fantasy points. The game prior was 50, 38 minutes in that 50 bomb, 32 minutes in that 70 bomb. Looking at who was active for the Clippers, Paul George was active. Ingram was active that most recent one, and then also, so Ingram was active both games. So that is something to, I guess, feel good about. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't mind J-Val today, the play. Like, you were trying to throw names at me a minute ago. Like, I thought these other guys were bad plays. I think J-Val's a pretty solid click at the center spot today, and he does have upside. So I definitely don't mind that. Ingram and J-Val together.
No, I wouldn't play them together. Definitely no overlap.
You don't think so?
At their prices at 8.9 and 8.6, no, I would just do them separate. I mean, one of them could just go for a little extra and get a 60 bomb.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, like, in all likelihood, one of them probably gets, a 50 and the other one a 40.
So Ingram has a 30% usage rate with J-Val on the court. J-Val's at 24%. Both guys over a fantasy point per minute, and J-Val almost a buck and a quarter. So I don't think it's like necessarily a spot where I need to prevent too much overlap. I guess it comes down to how much you expect this game to put up from a points perspective. When it comes to points in the paint allowed, the Clippers are top 6 in terms of real points in the paint allowed. And they also score a lot of points in the paint themselves. The New Orleans Pelicans are a little bit below league average. So less than stellar spot for Zubac. Zubac has been a a fun Cinderella name that I keep seeing and hearing in DFS circles. And like I said, without Hardenstein, it makes sense, but there's still some volatility in his minutes and probably too much for me to feel great about. In 2 games against the Pelicans, he's averaging 22 minutes per game, just about 19 fantasy points. So with Ibaka being back in the mix and a couple of the tendencies for them to show that they will play some small ball, like they closed out that Nuggets game, I really can't get there with a lot of confidence. So I think this slate, if we're not going mid-tier or high-end at the center spot, I do think we can get with some lower end centers. I think we'll talk about Nurkic as well. So I probably don't see myself getting to Zubac, and then seeing that Batum is potentially expendable as well in terms of starting to not starting, or starting and then not starting the second half. I think it's really just going to be Jackson, Coffee, Marcus Morris, and a little bit of Terence Mann in the discussion for me. And I think Amir Coffee is kind of a name that maybe hasn't picked up enough steam yet or traction. And a 5K, I get it's a tough price to pay, but the minutes have been there, and the Pelicans are kind of a soft landing spot. And it's not just one stat getting them there, right? Just 11 shot attempts in 43 minutes, but picking up, some steals, some assists, some rebounds. He has kind of stuff in the stat sheet with these newfound minutes.
Minutes are very intriguing.
Yeah, and I think as long as no Paul George, no Luke Kennard, guys like that, I think they're his to lose for the foreseeable future. So I'm probably fine with getting to him. Chat, what are you guys thinking on this one? Before we move on, Jason Garnett says, "I'm Oscar the Grouch, 8:30. You live in NBA." I guess Darren said you look like Big Bird that ate dirty booty. We'll say that.
I mean, gotta eat the booty like groceries. Do what you must, gentlemen.
Bro, this show is off the rails. I can't
do
miss
what
a
you
day.
Gotta eat about that life.
He's definitely not. No.
Hey,
what do you mean?
I mean, to each his own. I mean, different relationships. They want different things.
Stop. Let's.
I mean, someone. I guess.
Oh my God! What sponsorship can I lose by immediately segueing into a guys? You know what else he eats booty like groceries? Check out DraftKings.com.
I'm sure Drake does. Omarion.
Stop it! What are you doing? Timberwolves at the Memphis Grizzlies, talking with slow cadence, so we separate from the asinine state. Oh, not ass. I didn't mean. Never mind.
Now I'm thinking about it. Like,
no, he's not. God dang it.
Then you're like, hey.
We're off the rails. I'm pairing up the format. Give me a format. We're Timberwolves at the Memphis Grizzlies. Projected starting 5 for the T-Wolves: Patrick Beverley, D'Angelo Russell, crossing over with Anthony Edwards, Jared Vanderbilt, Karl-Anthony Towns, the Big Cat, Ernie Ladd taking on John Morant, Desmond Bane, Kyle. The Andersons got tickets to the game. How'd they get tickets? Jaren Jackson Jr. and Stone Cold Steven Adams. Maybe. We got 230.5 total. 4-point spread in favor of the Memphis Grizzlies. My goodness. I can't. We got a really high total for this one. All things considered, you look at all these games, just put them on the table. This game gives us the highest total, a decent enough spread here, and some price points worth attacking. Steven Adams would be the linchpin of information to really dive into these Grizzlies with a lot of upside for their price points. And really, it's more so a Jaren Jackson statement than anything else. But let's see if we can't get an update on Adams. Adams has been a tough SOB the last couple of years. So when he's missing games, it's got to be for real, right? Yeah. Looking at Memphis injury report, this is from NBC Sports Edge. When it comes to Steven Adams, health and safety protocols has been rolled out. So I guess that's not an injury thing. COVID's real if it's taken down.
It's questionable. It says now he's in a non-COVID illness.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. So it's got to be a real thing, like a real illness
real
that's keeping him down. If he can't go, Jaren Jackson Jr. has shown some ceiling, some upside, filling in some more center minutes, and then of course it raises our expectation for rebounds. 11 and 12 rebounds with more center minutes in the mix for him, with 39, 52, 57 fantasy points in his last couple games. I definitely want 40 plus at 7,200, But this game being what this game is, a lot of minutes, a lot of potential real points on the board. There's a lot of guys that I think I can get behind. I think Ja Morant is the number one piece that I want from this game. Ja Morant is quickly becoming one of my favorite players in all of basketball. He's just so much fun to watch, and he's just like his brand of basketball on and off the court as well is so great. He's a great Twitter follow, by the way, too. This season, Ja Morant without Dylan Brooks on the court. So Adams be darned. Without Dylan Brooks on the court, 35% usage rate, 1.4 fantasy points per minute. If you put him in those close competitive games, he's out there giving you big potential upside. And I think at 9,200 on DraftKings, 97 on Fanduel, he's giving me a strong shot at 50 fantasy points. So I do like some Ja Morant here. Hey. Yo, Brian Gatlin, appreciate that sub. And then Desmond Bane filling in. Some extra uses, some extra fantasy point production, some extra shots without Dylan Brooks. Those are two names I'm also interested in. And like I said, I would be on Jaren Jackson, but it also, like Jaren Jackson, for me becomes much more intriguing if Steven Adams misses another game. And if that also happens, I think Brandon Clark's in the conversation as well. So a couple ways that I can go. I really don't like to play Kyle Anderson. He has shown that he can get you there, and he also shown that he can't. At 5K, I don't know how often he leaves 30 in the dust for me to regret the decision on being outside looking in on him. So I think my short list is going to be Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, no matter what. And then if Adams is down again, Jaren Jackson. On the T-Wolf side, you got the big three, Edwards, D. Russ, and Karl-Anthony Towns. Karl-Anthony Towns is probably the most intriguing guy for me in terms of a stable floor and some upside. I got him about 50 fantasy points on both sides. D. Russ, Edwards become a little bit more volatile game to game. And then Patrick Beverley, maybe a little bit more intriguing on DraftKings, although I don't know how often I get there anyway. But there's about a $1,400 discrepancy between his FanDuel price point and his DK price point. So just extra value implied if you trust the FanDuel pricing algorithm versus the DK. So you seem to be leaning on this game quite a bit. You mentioned D. Russ earlier. You mentioned Anthony Edwards earlier. I think on this stretch for the Grizzlies, one of the things that is maybe going overlooked is that other than Ja Morant, he's surrounded by incredible defenders, and they've been really taking it to teams. And I think from a public perception, I think the Memphis Grizzlies are the most underrated team potentially in basketball, especially in the Western Conference. And I feel like they're like the Cavs of the West in terms of playing that West Coast style.
They're more than just this like fun young team now. They're actually a legitimately good team.
They are for real. So what are you doing with this game, Mr. Fade the studs and go mid-tier?
I love D'Angelo Russell. I think I want a tier 1 D'Angelo Russell. I think it's a 50 spot for him, coming off of just 3 amazing games played in this matchup with this pace. Like you said, he has defenders around him that are, some of them are elite. Jaren Jackson Jr. I still think is, not so elite. But you said Ja Morant not elite. Bane is solid. Kyle Anderson's solid. But again, I like D'Angelo Russell here. At his 7'9", 50-point upside, I'll take that all day, every day. I think when it comes to a guy like Cat, it really kind of depends on Steven Adams news. If Jaren Jackson Jr. is on him, I'm probably more likely to pay a little bit of Cat. If Steven Adams is in, probably not. And the Memphis side, again, you mentioned the Adams thing. If he's out, Jaren Jackson Jr. will probably be at 7,200. He might become a tier 2, maybe a tier 1 at 7,200 against Minnesota at the center position. I think it could be a 50 bomb for him. So I think that's intriguing. Ja Morant at 9,200. Man, that could be tough. I like it.
Maybe it could be tough. I mean, he's
been getting it done. I'm just saying. You have the spots for guards, so it's fine. They put Harden, Morant. You're left with enough salary. Yeah, no, he's fine. Again, I don't know tier 1, but probably a tier 2 at 9,200 has the upside there.
Yeah, I think like if you believe in this total.
Yeah,
being 230, you're giving the Grizzlies 119 here.
Yeah,
I mean, Ja Morant's going to represent 30 real points of that more than likely. So.
Yeah, I think with like Ja Morant, it's just like he's great. Obviously, he's going to do his thing. It's just Desmond Bane has those random games where he'll drop you 25, 30 real life points, and Morant doesn't need to. Necessarily.
I think they live together. I think like a lot of Bane's buckets become Morant's assists. I just think he's generally too underpriced, especially if you are buying into a 230 total.
It's like this. Like, see the past 3 games. When Bane has good games, Morant got you 41, 35. When he has a bad game, he gets you 50. I think Morant, has expectation closer to 40 rather than 50 when Bane is doing his thing.
No, I don't agree with that. I think let's put some context to that Lakers game.
Yeah, dude. Like, what's Morant? I don't know what Morant's totals when Bane scores 20 real life points.
I was just gonna say that I think the minutes in that Lakers game is not really the same of what we should expect here. Like 31 minutes. If you think it stays competitive, right? If you're that interested in the Warriors, I think 35 minutes a little bit closer to the expectation. I got about 33. Still getting, like I said, 50 fantasy point projection on FanDuel. Now, just speaking from my point of view with my lineup construction, I think Morant becomes a little bit more expendable, and I might get less of them in my lineups because I will be selling out for studs and scrubs. That's the studs and scrubs train rolling in. And I'll have a lot. I'll have a lot more Giannis and Harden overlap, and then a little bit of Curry in there. Like, I think there's just so much value that I can get to that. So, like, even if Morant gets me that 50, like I said earlier, like you were talking about D-Rose, J-Val, even if Morant does give me that 50, that extra 10 raw points just might be that easier to get. It might be that more meaningful, and that might be the difference between first place, 15th place tonight. So, I will have some John Morant, but he'll probably be in the tier 3 category for me, just based on what the slate's giving me. Right? Thinking about John Morant, he's 9,700 on FanDuel. That's $300 less than James Harden. That's nothing, right? You just
it's nothing. Yeah. So FanDuel's pricing is just, again, it's a different world from DK.
Yeah. And then it's right around also there for Steph Curry. So I just, like, I can't sell that I'm going to play a lot of John Morant. I'm going to play some, but I'm not going to play a ton because I think it's just that much easier to go studs and scrubs, Let's get caught up on chat. I'm scared. Anytime Damron has like a mini paragraph, I'm scared to read it. So I'm going to read it blind. Here we go.
Do it up.
You ever had a little pudding left in a Jell-O snack pack? You can't get it with the spoon, so you just lick the rest out.
I mean, hey,
it's like that. Just wait till she get out to.
I mean, I don't know why people have this idea how, like,
stop. No. Nope.
You're not like 12 years old. You get that logic out of your head.
Nope. We just hit him with the around the horn mute -3. Let him go at it. Let's get caught up. Nope. Hey, Gun, how are you today? And Raj, thanks for the info last night. Matu was the play for me last night. Won $867 last night. Again, let's go, Jim. That's good stuff, man. I'm happy to hear that. Bane's gonna lock D'Angelo Russell down. I definitely think D. Russ, Edwards, all those guys are in a little bit of a tougher spot. That's why I'm not that enamored with the T-Wolves. I do think Cat's interesting, and then maybe Cat getting the most of my T-Wolves ownership is probably a realistic outcome here. All right, we'll open Raj back up. Right? Okay. Bam. Now be good. Stop talking about booty. God dang it.
I mean, who doesn't love some good booty?
God dang it. The one thing. You had one job.
Shout out J-Lo.
I have 4 lineups on FanDuel tonight. Looking to ship one. Let's go, Willie. That's good. That around the horn mute. You already know J. Cole. -3. Imagine. Man, I don't know. Chat, if we did an NFL stream on Friday night, who'd be down for that? My boy Luke. I might get a couple other guests just talking about the super wild weekend. Some plays. I might make a spreadsheet that has every showdown already coded into it. Would you guys be game if we did it Friday after the dust settled for NBA? Not like right at NBA lock, but maybe an hour and a half afterwards, chopping up some NFL. If so, if there's enough
Friday nights are prime booty eating nights. If you think about it, really is.
I was looking for something on my desk to throw. And I have a sack of potatoes, and I feel like I shouldn't throw that.
You definitely don't want.
I got some weird stuff on my desk, bro. Got potatoes. It's like a jar of peanut butter.
I mean, yeah.
There's
I got next to
Rufus
my LeBron.
Teague. I don't.
I
Can I
got,
get a
I got some fish oil pills.
fish
Taking
oil
fish
pill?
oil
We
pills.
have infinitely different
Yep.
desk.
Vitamin C. I was feeling a little sick, so chuck down some vitamin
Oh
C.
my gosh. Oklahoma City Thunder at the Brooklyn Nets. Here's a game.
There you go.
SGA, Aaron Wiggins, Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, Jeremiah Robinson, Earl for the Thunder. Up against maybe James Harden, Cam Thomas, DeAndre Bembry, Kessler Edwards, and Day'Ron Sharp. The Nets lineup is very fluid and flexible. You might get a completely different lineup. I think you probably expect James Harden, Day'Ron Sharp, no matter what. Hey, yo, Jesse Rodriguez, appreciate that sub. And then in the mix, Cam Thomas, somebody like that. Lots of ways that they can go. What we do know is that LaMarcus Aldridge is out, Nick Claxton, Kevin Durant, Joe Harris, Kyrie Irving, and Patty Mills all out. I guess I didn't even put David Duke in this mix, but he has an opportunity to start and play deep minutes as well. So we're going to be doing a lot of guessing games when it comes to the Nets pre-flop. But long story short, we expect their rotation to be short enough that we can lock in some thick minutes for James Harden, who's probably going to give you 40 minutes no matter what. And then past him, Day'Ron Sharp. I think those are the two I feel most confident with getting to. And Sharp has been just really, really solid points per minute. And in the absence of all the centers, kind of becomes, I don't want to say a free square, but kind of becomes a free square. 30 fantasy points back-to-back games, and the price really hasn't moved. It stayed the exact same as it was last night. So I expect Harden and Day'Ron Sharp to be where I start with, and then moving past that, Cam Thomas is very intriguing to me. Kessler Edwards, guys like that. I think you're going to see a lot of Nets exposure by the field tonight. I don't think it's crazy to expect some four-man Nets lineups as one of the most common types of builds today. And I just think the slate will give us an opportunity to get us 3 to 4 Nets with a couple of studs. And we talked about Fanduel being a little bit softer in pricing, right? James Harden being 10K. You could put him, Giannis in the lineup pretty easily. You can get to Jokic pretty easily. It's just going to be an easy night to make lineups that you actually like to watch and sweat. But inversely, it's probably also going to create a pretty high cash line, especially a high first place score if the Nets kind of put up what you might expect them to do. So it's easy to speculate for the Nets who's going to get the brunt of it. But I think Harden and Sharp is going to be 1 and 2 for me. On the Thunder side, SGA, AK on both sides here is another name that might get lost in the sauce here. You definitely take away any expectations defensively for the Nets here. It's a back-to-back. Losing, Kevin Durant's probably your best pillar defensively. You could paint a picture for the Thunder to keep this game more competitive than you might ever expect them to keep this game. On the season, the Thunder not really that great in terms of net rating and offensive rating. They have a bottom 4 net rating, minus 7.9, and their offensive efficiency is the second worst in all of basketball. So there's still a chip in a chair for them to get blown out. But if there's a spot for them to be more competitive, it's against this incarnation of the Nets team. And the Thunder all season long have had stretches where there was no SGA, no Dort. They're all healthy as they'll probably get here. So I do think there's reasonable suspicion to believe that the Thunder could be somewhat competitive, not get blown off the court. And if that happens, there are some plays on the Thunder side that would be pretty great correlation plays to net stacks. I think SGA is probably the biggest Florida upside, or really the biggest upside correlation. I think 49 and a quarter in that last game against the Washington Wizards, took 22 shot attempts. If he can stay on the court for nearly 35 minutes, you expect good stuff to happen at AK. Like I said, the floor not as strong as you would want it, but I'm there on that. And then Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, next two guys I'd be considering. Josh Giddey keeps creeping up in price, so you just wonder how much value, how much meat's left on the bone. But 41, 34, 24, 43, 66, I think 40 fantasy points isn't a crazy range of outcome here. Maybe not the median, but it's still a range of outcome. But I think SGA is by far my favorite click on the Thunder side. What are you doing with this game? And how much James Harden? I would assume that James Harden is no less than 50% owned, really on both sites, and then at 10K on FanDuel, I could see him getting to 70% ownership.
Yeah, I mean, I just think you got to go all in here. I think in 5, 10, even in 20 lots, when I do 100% Harden, I think I'm fine. I think after that's when you just want to, in case for a bad game or injury, you want to bring it down to 70, 60, but no lower than 150 lineups. I think 50% is a start, and just kind of go from there. So all the Harden in the world. You mentioned Kessler Edwards. I mean, I think Bruce Brown, if he starts, he had a run where he was just getting 30, 40 fantasy points a game when it was him and just one of the other guys before Kyrie came back and all that. So I could see him doing this thing. You mentioned Kessler Edwards. He's going to take on a bigger scoring load. I think I might lean towards Bruce Brown over Edwards, because I think Bruce Brown just has a larger.
I think Edwards. I'll try and quantify the minutes.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do, but Bruce Brown's been a guy that I play more if I think he's just playing 40 minutes.
Gotcha. But you remember that time when he was dropping like 36?
Yeah, when he was playing 40 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so at this spot, it seems like a spot he plays 40 minutes. So if he starts, I might rank him as number 2. Day'Ron Sharpe, I mean, should be a 30-minute spot for him, 32, 33-minute spot for him. Blake Griffin is on a back-to-back, so I think his minutes will be a little limited too. So I can see Sharpe definitely getting there. So I like him. So yeah, I mean, three nets in every lineup might be the start.
James Harden without KD, Kyrie on the court sustains a 34% usage rate, 1.6 fantasy point per minute essentially. And then this season, most of his time without KD or Kyrie does involve almost 300 minutes of Patty Mills. If I take Patty Mills out, it just completely dilutes the sample size, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah. But you'd want one more shooter with Harden, right? I think he could feed a center, and he's one shooter to pair with. And I'm kind of thinking Cam Thomas as that guy here. So I don't know what Steve Nash's plan is here, but Cam Thomas, maybe David Duke, those two could be the catalyst in some scoring and some upside. 2 games ago, Cam Thomas gave us 21 real points against that depleted Blazers team. That was good for 30 fantasy points, 10 plus shot attempts, and then replacing what Patty Mills does. Patty Mills could be 9, 10 threes a game, 3-point attempts per game, and I think that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a guy that can chuck the ball from downtown. It's just like him and David Duke seem like the most intriguing pieces, and we've even seen David
Not
Duke.
Edwards, that you like Edwards over Cam Thomas?
I mean, I think they're all like very viable. Like I think I'll definitely have a lot of overlap between all of them. But that's what I'm looking. I'm looking to fill in those Patty Mills potentially 20 real points in this spot here. So, and they're also cheap that there's enough viability and overlapping considering this matchup. Yeah. So Kessler Edwards saw 29 minutes last night. Didn't do a whole lot with it, but you take out, KD, you take out some of the pieces that played last night. There's definitely a boost to be had all the way around. And then another thing to look at for this split on James Harden, he gets a 43% assist rate, and we saw that 40% assist rate even go back to last year when there was plenty of sample without KD and Kyrie. So he's gonna have to make others great. I think feeding lobs to his centers is one way. Just out of curiosity, what does PrizePicks have in terms of James Harden numbers tonight?
58 fantasy.
They got him at 10.5 assists. So,
and 58 fantasy points is a lot. Like, I mean, I don't hate the under on that.
No, I do hate the under. Are you kidding me? What? That's about what I haven't projected at, and I think that might be a little light. What? James Harden could really drop 70 tonight.
He could. I mean, he's let us down in the spot before this year.
Has he let us all the way down? Maybe. I guess the ultimate question: do you expect the game to stay competitive, right?
Yeah, man. It's Harden and Scrubs against SGA, Giddey, Dort, and Scrubs. You know what I mean? So I mean, I think OKC's starting lineup is better than now.
Maybe, I don't know.
Right now,
that's not a hill I'm going to die on. But three of his last 4 games without KD. In this split, 70 plus fantasy point games, and then the Rockets game, I guess, was a down game, But at 70% own at 10K, I'll take 53 on FanDuel as well.
Yeah.
So I just don't really see a path to where I don't click it or ticket on James Harden, right? I think, and this is just numbers I'm pulling out of my head, but I can't see him less than 50% on DK, and I can't see him less than 70% on FanDuel. I might just go all in, bro. We shoving the chips in the middle of the table on James Harden and hope that the success rate is way too high and way too good to pass up. But every net is in play. But I would you agree that Day'Ron Sharpe feels like the safest handcuff to Harden, and then you just kind of, I don't say guess, but you kind of have to do some math beyond that?
I think he's a tier 1 too.
Yeah.
I
core value is how we rank him, but yeah.
Yeah, so tier 1 core value. It's just the matchup is so pure for him. I wouldn't be shocked if he has, like, he's second or third in points, real life points, right? So,
I do. I got Day'Ron Sharpe at 40 fantasy points on FanDuel.
That's wild.
There might be I mean, is it though? He's back-to-back 30s with all those people.
I guess
they got him at 26 on PrizePicks, man.
I guess at the over. I'm hit the over on that. Yeah, 26 seems like I'll hit the over on that. But I think like Giddey and SGA, I think are very interesting in this spot too. I think there'll be no defense played in this game whatsoever. It's just going to be a complete shootout with these teams chucking all around. So I think SGA at his price at 8K, very interesting, very intriguing. I think it'd be a 50 spot for him coming off of a 50 spot against Washington. Giddey, it seems like he's always, viable for a triple double here. 7K, you definitely want 45, 50. I can see a 40, floor of 40 for him here, and definitely more upside for that. And basically played 30 minutes last game. I'm not running to play at 4,300 against Brooklyn. It could be a 30 spot, is all I'm going to say.
For Darius Bazley, I don't think that's an insane call out. There's been a couple of games now where we've seen him play over 20 minutes, even not starting. 29 fantasy points, yeah, against Washington, sure. I don't hate that. That's when you're stretching. Space Jam reaching into 100, 150 lineups.
LeBron James reach. It's the LeBron James Space Jam, so it's a reach.
So I haven't. So I started to watch the new Space Jam and then I fell asleep. Was there a Stretch Armstrong scene for LBJ in that one?
Not quite like the original, but there's definitely a bit of a stretching scene.
Gotcha. Chat, prizepicks.com. Check them out. Maybe get on this Day'Ron Sharpe action with me. I might put a little too much on Sharpe over his fantasy point projection. Maybe 40 is aggressive, but he's coming off back-to-back 30 fantasy point games. And the matchup is about as good as it gets. This season, the Oklahoma City Thunder have been one of the nuttiest spots in terms of DVP, fantasy points per position. They've been top 4 in DVP to not just the center spot, but the power forward spot. So Sharpe over 26.5 fantasy points. That might be a sharp bet.
I like that. That one's not bad. I actually don't mind that one.
I'm not a rapper.
Talk about it.
Code Gundacker gets you 100% deposit match up to $100. So you drop a 20 bomb on it, they make it $40. You drop 100 on it, they make it $200. Instant playable credit, none of that slow drip play through 24 times nonsense. Get it out there. Even Raj is making money on PrizePicks. So check it out. Good way to support the stream, support the site, all that good stuff. So go to PrizePicks, do all that good stuff, all that voodoo that you do. Let's get caught up on chat before we move on. Kobe King says, Gun, do you have day pass available at Run DFS? No, we don't. No, sorry. The lowest that we got is week passes, which I think is $19.99 right now, which is all things. So it's not just like a day pass for NBA or whatever. It's all of the stuff, week pass. We're going to have NFL coverage this weekend, basketball daily, all that good stuff. And then Luke has been crushing it with being helpful in the golf channel. How much to try to Run DFS for the night? We don't have trials. Sorry about that. But I will say, like, very few people sign up and don't stay. Like, it is what it is. This is almost like when Harden was 13K in Houston, playing with nobody, and we still played him. He's going over 60. Just play James Harden.
Yeah.
Just play James Harden. Could you? I think one of the scariest ways to experience life tonight is to going to DFS battle without James Harden in your lineup. So
Probably.
if you like adrenaline, bro, go Raj with it and like
Like
don't.
if you're chasing 100K, 200K, a milli, I mean, and you're running one or two lineups, I mean, fading him is the play.
No, it's not. It's literally not.
Time out. If you're running 1 to 5 lineups and you're chasing 100K in a large field tournament,
No,
fading him is the play.
that's horrendous thinking. That's horrendous thinking. If you're trying to win a tournament, no matter what, you got to think of players in terms of probability of success, probability of being optimal, and the probability of 10K James Harden being optimal tonight is way higher than the probability of James Harden not being optimal. I think just based on.
I think he's not optimal probably 20% of the time here.
So then, if you're trying to win a tournament, that's not the play to fade him. If you're trying to win a tournament, it's to get the right value plays because you can get into a Bembry who drops 20 fantasy points, and that's what's going to anchor you.
If that 20% hits, though, you're just so ahead of the field, and for you to hit that top spot,
it's one position. It's one position. Like
when a guy's going to be that old, that one position is.
But that's still 20, like 80% success versus 20%. Like, what do you mean? That's not. No, I think that line of thinking is so like.
I'm with it.
It's bad. It's bad, right? I get what you're saying. Like, if it was a more volatile floor guy than a James Harden, let's say, I don't know, every night there's some chalk value guy. Like yesterday, Okongwu with John Collins there and Gorgie.
I mean, a guy like if everyone's out and Alec Burks, his floor is lower, or
right?
I don't
exactly. The probability of being the nuts versus probability of tanking your lineup, because you could even if James Harden got you a get me there 50-60 today, it doesn't make you not exactly like you probably still see him in the winning lineup just based on his ownership. So that blanket statement that the way to win 100K is to fade Harden, I don't think that's true, because it's a bad thought process.
Incoming 100K lineup with no Harden.
It's possible because there are pivots in terms of like stud upside, but like if the thing is like tonight you need more than like if Steph Curry drops 60. Well, if James Harden also drops 60, it's not really. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't agree with the blanket statement. I'll say that. Well, you know what I agree with? I agree that over 200 of the most awesome DFS OG YouTubers are hanging out right here, and then they forget. Great, hey, legends forget to do stuff sometimes, right? A lot of them forgot to hit that thumbs up. So it is what it is. But the good thing about being legendary is like you could fix it, and you can get over to that thumbs up button right now. And if you all just like hit it right now, we can get over 100 just like that. And that would be pretty cool. We could do the thumbs up wave. So get those likes up. And if you are lurking out there, you're not subbed to the channel, the grind to 6K subs, man, it's within reach. I thought we might be able to get to 5,900 subs this week. We missed yesterday's stream, but we're about 30 subs away from 59. So if we hit the 59, then it's the countdown to 6K, and 6K would be a nice milestone to reach as we get into the February month, the birthday month. So if you want an early birthday gift for me, hit that sub button if it's lit up. And let's get into the main event of tonight's slate. 10 p.m. Eastern. This is an hour and a half after the Nets game. We've got the shorthanded Portland Trailblazers on the road at the Denver Nuggets. Jack starting 5 for the Blazers. Dennis Smith Jr., Ben McLemore, Nas, you can hate me now, Little, Rocco, and Yusef Nurkic looking for revenge. Taking on Monte Morris, Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, Jeff Green, and Nikola Jokic. We got a 211.5 total, 11-point spread in favor of the home team, Denver Nuggets. So the Blazers are the lead here. No Damian Lillard, no CJ McCollum, no Norman Powell, and no Anthony Simons. Man, I don't know if they can call up the Supersonics and maybe get some help here, but this is bad, and this is going to create one of the opportunities that we've seen all year. Yo, Lance Simpson, appreciate that sub. One of the outcomes, we've seen it a few times this year where teams get completely depleted due to protocol, that their rotation is extremely short, and no matter what the total is, no matter what the spread is, they just have to play. And I think that's one of the cases that we're going to have here today. Dennis Smith Jr., Ben McLemore, Nas Little, Robert Covington, and Yusuf Nurkic. I got them all at no less than 35 minutes, and I could see even more for some of these cats. So this is going to be a really sweet spot for potential value. And then we are wrestling with the spread here a little bit. But Raj, I think the Blazers are going to have to be high owned no matter what. Dennis Smith Jr., Ben McLemore. We talked about some of the fringe 4K value plays on the Nets. These don't feel as fringy in terms of predicting how many minutes they might get. Sure, the outcome might be 20 to 40, but I think Dennis Smith Jr. at 4K-ish on both sites is probably going to be a core value play for me. Ben McLemore probably going to be top 2, top 3 on the team in shot attempts. And then Yusuf Nurkic, if you paint this game playing close, he's been really doggone good for them. And I love to see him play these type of minutes. A little bit of his old arch nemesis Jokic, right? Former teammate.
Yep.
Might have some fun with that. 2 games against Denver this year, 22 minutes a game, 17 fantasy points. Again, those games come with everyone in for the Blazers. It's different here. I do think there's some volatility in him today, just based on the matchup, maybe some fouls or something like that. But generally speaking, if you just consider team responsibility and how this game could stay close, Nurkic is right on there in the mix. So Blazers are a fun team to attack for value today. I think Nurkic might get lost in my player pool just based on wanting some value at the position or some studs at the position. But I still think 50 fantasy points is realistic for him. It's actually one of the projections I'm getting on him. But how much of Dennis Smith Jr., Ben McLemore do you expect to get to? And then the run back on the Nuggets, when they're fully healthy, and by fully healthy, I mean when Will Barton's in the lineup, I usually only get to Jokic and then a little bit of Barton. If Barton's out, I'll get to Monte Morris, and every now and then I'll spin the wheel and make a deal on Aaron Gordon. But what are you doing with this game?
Yeah, so on Denver side, it's just Jokic for me with everyone healthy. Jokic always has possibility of being highest score on the slate, so I'll probably have 20 to 40% of him. When it comes to the Portland value, I think I'm going to have a little bit of DSJ, McLemore, Nasir Little, Covington, and Nurkic. I think all, that starting 5 I'm going to have pieces of. I think Little or Covington, one of those guys is going to have a 40 bomb if this game stays close. So Little at 5,600, Covington coming off of a 40 bomb at 5,800. One of those guys will definitely hit that. So I like that. McLemore at 4,200, I think could be a key value guy. I mean, how to rank them versus the Brooklyn value. I think he probably outscores, a couple of the Brooklyn guys. Not all of them will get there. So I like him at 4,200. DSJ is interesting at 4K. All the point guards are done. It's going to be his show. Double-digit assist spot, I think, for him. So I like him at 4K. I mean, he should play 35, 38 minutes. They just don't have anybody else.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. I think Dennis Smith Jr., not only am I expecting myself to lean on him pretty heavily to close the night, but I would expect him to carry extremely high ownership by the field. And it just is what it is. Like, Dennis Smith Jr. may not be a fun name to click right now, but we have seen him pop big games in his past. If you look at just this season alone, he dropped 40 fantasy points in 37 minutes against Boston, and that's just what it is. It's by hook or by crook, and we know, in years past he's had a couple of big fantasy point games, and there's really just we gotta throw every metric out. There's not going to be any NBA wow we can use for Dennis Smith Jr. in this split because it just hasn't happened. We just have to and I just think minutes equal money a lot when the price is right, and tonight the price is right. Dennis Smith Jr. most DKP by game log. Let's go last 100 games of Dennis Smith Jr. to show you what kind of ceiling he could bring to the table. Got a couple 50 bombs in there from 2019. Last season on March 3rd, he gave us a triple-double from Detroit, right? So 40 plus fantasy points is not like a crazy outcome, especially if you're going to give him near 40 minutes. And Ben McLemore, I think, might be a little bit more scoring dependent, but like I said, should be top 2, top 3 in shot attempts for this team. Double-digit shot attempts is my expectation. I just can't argue against any play individually. I might set a rule to maybe not go more than 3 of the Blazers, maybe 2 of 3, putting McLemore, Little, and Rocco in the mix. Little has been a little underwhelming.
Talk about it. I like that too. No, a little bit of rolls. I'll give him. He's 2 for 2 today.
Yeah.
2 for 2 today.
A little
Usually
underwhelming.
He's like 2 for 9.
A couple games here without Larry Nance that you thought, we might expect some of those big games. But the fact is he does have big game potential. And if he gets to a 30, 40 fantasy point outcome, then you want some of that. So I just can't stay away from Blazers being pretty heavily present in my lineups tonight. I guess let's have a Nurkic debate. Not a debate, but a conversation. Chat, you guys chime in. Are you guys getting to Nurkic? Just thinking about what this slate's giving us. Raj, you too. The slate, the game itself is giving us Jokic. Giannis is center eligible. Karl-Anthony Towns is center. J-Val in the mix. And then we've talked about, Day'Ron Sharpe being almost free square value. And on DK, he's center only. Does Nurkic get lost in the sauce? And would his 50 fantasy points at 7K almost not matter if everyone else kind of gets where they should probably get to?
A 50 at 7K, I think, will still be an optimal lineup.
I don't know that it would. I don't know that it like
a 7K 50. Stop.
But if you, but what, just in context of building lineups, let's say Day'Ron Sharpe. Let's just go with 30 again. I think he could outscore 30. If you get that 30 from Day'Ron Sharpe, that's going to be really optimal in the center spot. Mm-hmm. And then if you have two of the 10K studs that get you 70, you probably just don't have money left for 7K. So like, I think 7K 50 should be optimal most of the time, but I don't think that it instantly becomes optimal because of the value. Guys that can overperform at the position and reach 10x value. So I don't know. That's why I think like I have him for 50 fantasy points on both sites. But if I'm thinking about my Fanduel ownership and my DraftKings ownership, I could see not getting to Nurkic as much as maybe I should or would if the slate was different. This is really this is more of playing with the same deck of cards. The deck has a lot of value on the slate, but especially at the position. And I think Day'Ron Sharpe is the clear cut guy for me that could overperform. And then even if I just got a couple extra points from the position from maybe Cat, maybe J-Val, guys like that. So I don't know. I feel like J-Val just might be that great play that gets lost in the sauce. Something to think about. But Jokic, I got him coming in as the second highest fantasy scorer on their slate. No surprise if he's number one. I think the most pushback here is more so that you just don't know if the game's going to stay close. And if it doesn't stay close, do they leave him out there? They probably don't. I saw DeMarcus Cousins was not going to be available yet. So maybe more, less suspicion to believe that he would get less minutes. I think JaMychal Green's still there, though, so it's not like I'm too stunned about it. But where does Jokic fall for you in terms of all the studs on the slate? I guess in context of DraftKings, Giannis, Jokic, and Harden, is Jokic the guy who leads the league in fantasy points per existence going to be? I had 11 that last check. Let's see if I
see 11. That's the only worry. I mean, if Jokic gets full run, I think he has a really strong likelihood of even outscoring Harden.
10.5 is what I'm looking at now. And I'm also like a proponent of not letting blowouts spook me too much, because blowouts, we've seen guys get there in blowouts 60, but I just feel like maybe Giannis versus Jokic is more intriguing. But
it is more intriguing than Harden. Giannis versus Jokic is more intriguing. Will Barton be back? Probably hurts him a little bit.
No, it doesn't. It helps him.
Oh, it helps him. Okay. I mean, in that case, Giannis versus Jokic is definitely interesting. I think the only thing kind of holding me back from going fully on Jokic is that 10, 11 point spread. Because Denver's really looked good whenever they've been, relatively healthy.
So if you're making a podium of studs, is it 1 Harden, 2 Giannis, 3 Jokic? That's where I'm at.
But it's just, but
I think even more pushback is, like I said, the value at center, right? Day'Ron Sharpe, I might.
You got a useful spot on DK, right? So
yes,
it's not as important. I think Jokic and Giannis' projection is just so close, like maybe like 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. So it's just, I just think it's almost like a flip of a coin.
And it's close enough in price as well.
Yeah. I'm not going to lean one way or the other strongly in this spot.
Yeah. Chat, what do you guys got on this one before I move on to the next one? All right, there's no next one, but you know what I mean. Gosh dang it. Mark K says, I just deposited on Fanduel and got a responsible gaming notification. Oh, that's how they get you. Douglas says the Sharp plays 32 plus minutes tonight, stays out of foul trouble. He'll put up 42 fantasy points. Mark my words. Hey, my algorithm agrees with that, Doug. So I'm not against that at all. What up, Chad? You're crazy if you fade Harden. I agree. You're insane. Danger, the safety dog. Harden, Giannis, and Ja Morant filled with Nets value in last minute. Dennis Smith Jr. Last minute Smith Jr. I guess you got auto-corrected. Dennis went to last minute Smith Jr. If he hits a game-winning shot tonight, Danger, you put that into manifestation. Mark says, I have 41 lineups on FanDuel, 31 Sharp lineups. Let's go. What up, Lance? I got 20K in my Thrive fantasy account, and they won't let me withdraw any of it. Oof. I hope you get that figured out, man. That 20K was a lot, man.
What site?
Thrive.
Never heard of it.
Man, they hit me up like 2 years. I can't disclose that, but anyway. I've heard of them. I've never heard any like bad things about them, so I'm hoping like it's a situation that you can get resolved. But I haven't heard anyone else say like they gridlocked their money, so I don't know. Blake Griffin might go off tonight. Yeah, he could. Like there's so many Nets that have a path to minutes and potential success that I think and hope that the starting lineup would answer a lot of our questions early. But we'll see. I forgot to like the video. No, like the video. Watch the product. Sometimes on sites you got to be careful how much you deposit. The suits try to make you play it out. Yeah, Mark, that is true. That's usually more so for like offshore gaming, or if you signed up using some sort of like promo code and then like in the fine print they're like, oh, you got to play through it 27 times to be able to withdraw. There's definitely some sites like that. You usually don't see that in our DFS circle, and I usually try to vet anybody that I partner with, so I haven't seen that with any of the companies that endorse me. Although there is one company that I got a new endorsement deal with that I had to double check some of the info on, but look for that information probably next week. It's a sportsbook endorsement. I got some Aaron Gordon, Rocco, Benny Mac, DSJ. Let's go. Neck tat, James Johnson on the Nets, maybe. James Johnson, another guy, like I like him per minute, just don't know how many minutes you might expect. OG Crypto says, anyone like Aaron Gordon on the other side of this game? I think Aaron Gordon is fine in theory. I don't know how much higher than 30 fantasy points I would expect from him usually. With Will Barton back, it becomes even less of an expectation here. And like I said, the Nuggets are usually just Jokic, a little bit of Barton, maybe sometimes Gordon, but for the most part, I don't really get too much here. And I think on this slate, it probably more the same here. But in theory, if you get to 30 minutes, I don't think it's bad. Why are we skipping out Middleton incoming triple-double? I like Middleton. Thoughts on DeAndre Bembry? Again, I think it comes down to if you see Bembry in the starting lineup, him, Bruce Brown, Kessler, like there's a lot of names I want to play that are very logistically like sound. But if they're not in the starting lineup, I have a lot of questions about what I might expect their minutes and what their involvement to be tonight. Because I still got like 9 people available for the Nets, right? So it's not like one of those 8-man benches or rotation and stuff like that. But I think Bembry could be a stocking stuffer type of play here. I wouldn't expect a ton out of him, but I do think I would get to some if he was in a starting lineup. Same with Bruce Brown. Like if Bruce Brown didn't start, I probably wouldn't be that enamored with getting exposure to him. I might still get to a little bit, but I kind of want to lean on the starters to feel a little bit better, because I do feel in terms of levels of confidence, I feel like the Blazers are going to give me what I know is going to happen, right? I know I'm going to get Dennis Smith Jr., Ben McLemore. Like, I know that. So I'm going to lean on that as the more high confidence picks. And then when the Nets give us their lineup, hopefully sooner than later as the slate locks, then I can lean on these guys. But I think Kessler, Edwards, Cam Thomas are the early leans for me past Harden and Daron. So everybody else is just kind of a tertiary at that, Jokic faders went unpunished last slate. Yeah, they did. But that was one of the weirdest games ever. The Clippers and Nuggets game. I don't know how often that would have. Thoughts on Christian Wood? Now, wait a minute. Dave King says, yeah, you got me all in on Sharp now, doubting Joker a little bit. So I don't want to plant seeds of doubt on Jokic. I just want to, like, if Jokic, Giannis, and Harden all drop 70 tonight, and Daron Sharp drops 30 to 40, I think the more likely optimal lineup would be Harden, Giannis, Daron Sharp. You know what I mean? You'd have to replace that singular spot where Jokic is only center eligible on Fanduel, and then you center util on. I just think the likeliness of needing his 70 if there's two others on the slate is a little less prevalent. So I definitely don't think Jokic is a bad play, but in context to 1 minute projection and game flow, the Nuggets are the largest favorite on the slate against not starting. Nurkic is the only, like, maybe, I guess Robert Covington is the only above, I don't know, replacement level player that you would see playing for the Blazers tonight, whereas Giannis is going against potential top 3 team in the West, and James Harden has no help hosting the Thunder. So you expect those guys to be in more competitive games with more need to show up and show out. And I think that's also enough pushback on top of the way lineup construction just might play out if the projections live up to what they are. What up, Gun? You should try to do some prize pick content before the daily stream. Prize Picks is blowing up, and it's funny that you mentioned that. Hey, Duranzo, my boy Luke, who has been doing some jock market content for me, a couple of videos a week. We did have a little bit of a discussion about maybe transitioning into some early Prize Picks videos, but much like anything NBA related, it's very contingent on news. So a lot of the stuff that I might be on in the morning might not be the same in the afternoon, and also, some of the lines are not even there. Like, I don't know that there was a Daron Sharp line this morning. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to do more Prize Picks content. I've even thought about doing maybe a morning Prize Picks stream. Prize Picks definitely blowing up, though. I'm happy to see that. I saw their lines maker tweet that they had 300,000 users now. That's huge.
They have 300,000 users?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I thought they'd be at like 30,000 or something, and that'd still be impressive. But 300,000 is wild.
They're doing things the right way, man, and they say these endorsement deals that you see, everyone with a YouTube channel has a code, right? Luckily, we were one of the first ones that's happy.
Talk about it.
But everyone, like, they're taking care of everyone. Like, the back end, like, I'm not getting paid 5% commission on, so they're taking care of people for customer acquisition. And
they have great customer service too. Like, they reply to you right away, and you're kind.
In this house, we stand Prize Picks, but I definitely, that's on the table, Hater on. So I'm really trying to add to the team in terms of content creators to kind of soften my load. Many hands make light loads, but it's really hard to find some quality cats. I found a diamond in the rough with Luke.
They can't all be me. You gotta stop comparing people to myself. That's a very rare thing,
buddy. No, I mean, no, but I mean, like stuff that I don't even have to be there. Like, Luke has access to the channel now to upload video. Like, he has full reign on his content and can upload it. I need more of those. You know what I mean? And it's those cats are harder to find. I can carry a lot of people to a decent stream, but I'm looking for like pure content creators, and the market, it's very saturated, and there's not a lot of high quality. So if you guys know some high quality cats that could use a push, man, send them my way, and I'll see what I can do. Jason Garnett says, Gun, do you think it's someone like Triple J is going to be breaking the slate at mid-tier 7K? I like Jaren Jackson Jr. if Steven Adams is out. I definitely think his viability or his floor for fantasy goes up, his ceiling goes up. I like him playing center more. We obviously always have to be concerned about his potential foul proneness going against a high usage big like Karl-Anthony Towns. But we've seen him, elevate his rebounds the last couple games, going from 5.6 per game on the season, the last couple games, 8-ish, playing more of that center role. So I do like him. As far as breaking the slate, I don't know if I'm leaning that much, but I think 40 to 50 fantasy points from him is possible if Adams is out, and that's one more pushback on like Nurkic, right? At least Jaren Jackson Jr. is forward eligible, where I can be a little bit more versatile with where I put that. But I would really want Steven Adams out to get to Jackson's potential ceiling in tournaments. If you were playing 20-30 lineups like a 20 max and some singles, would you lock in Smith and Dayron? Dennis Smith Jr. and Dayron? I think I would, yeah. Because I expect their ownership to be so high that I almost feel like it's all in or all out. You know what I mean? If I want leverage, then I'll just take all the leverage. And if I think it's a risky play, I'll just stay out. Sometimes I'll hedge my mass entry and single entry. And what I mean by that is, let's say I locked, Dayron and Dennis Smith Jr. in mass entry. Well, then maybe and today's a bad example because I think they're great plays. But when it comes to more like volatile plays, the guys that I'm high on in tournaments, I'll probably fade them in single entry. That way I have personal hedge life going on. But today, yes, I would be probably locking Dennis Smith Jr. and Dayron in just about everything I do. They're just too cheap. If they fail, they fail. But the minutes and the opportunity before them today are just too good. J. Cole says it's tough with protocols to make my prize picture only day. Yeah, it is. DK DFS is pretty sweet. So DK is, I think he's bigger than me. He's got more subs. So I don't think it wouldn't really benefit him. I'm looking for guys that it would be mutually beneficial to work with me. Like Luke, I'm able to help him build his channel a little bit more, get him some more experience on what it's like to service, premium customers, stuff like that. Like it was such a good partnership that helps us both. That's what I'm looking for out there now. So if like smaller content creators that could use an extra push, I'm game to collab with anybody, but I don't think it would be super beneficial. I want it to be something that benefits both sides, unless they just want to collab. I'm a creature of habit, can't switch to PrizePicks as much as I want to try it. Been snapping, I'm telling you, bro. It's fun, it's easy. It's the easiest way to
fun, easy. It's great to cheer on your guys. Just literally, there's so many times in Discord where it's like the last minute of the game, 3 more points, 1 more rebound. You know what I mean? It's just
it's the ultimate way to simplify DFS. If you just don't have time or some news, you could also just capitalize on news as a complementary piece to your daily DFS play as it is. And that's basically what I do. So if the other day on stream, Bradley Beal got ruled out, and here's something to keep an eye on because I don't know when the next. So watch this: Spencer Dinwiddie DKP by game log without Bradley Beal last 10 games. Spencer Dinwiddie has never scored less than 17 real points without Bradley Beal yet, and most of the times it's over 20. And they kept setting his line at 16.5 without Bradley Beal. And the last 2 slates without Bradley Beal, it's been 16.5. So I just bet that. I'm going to have a ton of them for fantasy, but why not, double down here? And then sometimes, yesterday, he was I think he was 7K on Fanduel, and he only got 30 fantasy points. He was useless for fantasy because that's not, you need a ceiling for that, but you can still cash in on the PrizePicks prop. So sometimes you like a guy's spot, but the price doesn't really add up for you and make sense for you in DFS that you can't really get action on it. So don't overload yourself, right? Don't give yourself too much that you can't handle. But I think it's a good complementary piece, and also it's a way, if you don't have your own projection system, you could cheat. You could use PrizePicks, right? You look at their fantasy projection, it's the same scoring as FanDuel, and you can see, okay, here's what PrizePicks has on this guy. You can make a lineup based on their projections if you really wanted to maybe cheat the system a little bit, right? Get some advanced projections out there. So I don't know. We just spent a lot of time plugging PrizePicks. So shout out to PrizePicks. What else we got? DFS Noah. Noah's my boy. I love Noah. Again, I don't think it would benefit him to collab with me, but maybe on a slate breakdown or something like that. I'm a creature. Did you mention Monte Morris? So Monte Morris would not be a play for me with Will Barton in. I like him with Will Barton out. I liked him a little too much that night with Will Barton out. But on the season, he's showing a little bit more upside only if Barton's out. He took a little bit of a usage bump and a per minute bump without Will Barton, but Will Barton's expected to play, right? So as long as Will Barton's in, I don't think I get to Monte Morris, especially a couple $100 cheaper on the other side. Yeah, he's probable. Gets you to Dennis Smith Jr. Amir Coffey, a good play at 5,200. he keeps getting 30 minutes, I think he's a chip in a chair for being a super solid play. We're at 220 of you guys still hanging out, man. Smash that thumbs up. Let's get those likes as high as we can get them. Tomorrow is a big slate, so we'll be back at it at around 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. We mentioned that the Warriors are on a back-to-back, so we'll see if we don't get Otto Porter out today, we probably get him out tomorrow. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 games on the docket tomorrow. A lot of games lock at the top of the hour, 6 p.m., and then most of the slate locks at 7:30. So I talked about maybe doing an NFL stream tomorrow. So maybe 7:30 Eastern. So that would be 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. This is Central time. Would you guys be down for a 8:30 Eastern ish NFL stream, talking some NFL for the weekend? If so, I think we can make that happen because there's only 2 games to worry about after that. And I'd be down to that. Maybe I can put together a panel and we'll talk about the Super Wildcard weekend. I'll dress up a spreadsheet, get all the showdowns in order, all the projection sheets in order, and bring on the homie Luke, and maybe I'll get a couple others to chop it up. So if you guys would be down for that, let me know in chat. I think we can make it happen. I think we could. Otherwise, I'll be in the voice chat in about 30 minutes. Late lock today. So you guys want to be part of that, go to rundfs.com, get yourself a sub. Rod's hot take for the people.
Hot take for the people is Giannis scores under 50 fantasy points.
Under 50?
Under 50 fantasy points.
We don't have a bet, do we? Anything?
When I think about it, I'm going to have to think about it.
Oh, my God. All right, Raj. Well, it's been fun. You going to be on tomorrow?
Tomorrow might be tough. I'll let you know.
Well, he'll let me know. All right. Catch you later. All right, chat. I appreciate you guys making part of my day, be part of your day. It's been fun. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. You guys are crushing it. Twitter.com/Gundacker. If you got more for me, the DMs are open. I'll try and get back at you. Otherwise, Discord, 30 minutes, voice chat. I'll be making my player pool, and we'll be chopping up the slate, getting all the news, reacting to the news, and making our plays. As always, good luck. God bless. And go win some money.